Hi, everyone. This is Mike Baird, the principal at the high school, and I put this video together to go over our second semester learning plan. We've made quite a few changes, listening to feedback from community members, from students, and teachers, and I'm really excited about some of the changes we've made. So let's go through some of these so we can kind of digest what's going to happen here at the end of January. First things first, taking a look at the timeline. So on Monday, January 4th, that's when we come out of the first semester break and we kick off second semester. Now, to kick this off, students will still be in full remote learning for that full first week and 3 days of the second week. During that time, they will be in the block schedule. So do periods 1, 2, 3, and 4 one day, 5, 7, 8, 6 the next day. And they'll rotate that through for our first 8 days. That's up through Wednesday, January 13th. So they'll be on the A-B schedule just like they are right now. And their classes will be about 75 minutes. So of each period, each class they'll have it 4 times during this time. Now, Thursday, January 14th and Friday, January 15th, those will now be remote planning days for teachers. These are non-school days for all students. So during this time, what we'll be doing at the building is preparing for our return to learn, which will happen on the following Monday. We will be adjusting the schedule and trying to adjust the learning style based on a lot of feedback we've received. So we need this time to kind of prepare and plan and test out some different things in our classrooms to try to maximize this time when we come back. On Monday, January 19th, so that's the day many of us have been waiting for, students who choose may return to the buildings on alternating days. So you'll be in 2 groups, last name A through L or last name M through Z. If we have special home circumstances that we talked about in first semester, we can talk about those as well if you want to email me or call the main office. But A through L will begin on Monday the 19th, and then M through Z will come on Tuesday the 20th, and the groups will just go every other day. So we are no longer full remote on Wednesdays. So A through L, that first week will go Monday, Wednesday, Friday. The second week, they'll come Tuesday, Thursday, and then moving along throughout the semester like that. We will have the full schedule each day, meaning kids will have all 8 of their class periods each day. We will go from 7:50 to 2:30, and each class period is now going to be 45 minutes. Now, some of the changes that we've talked about based on feedback from community members, parents, teachers, and students, things that we thought we needed to change out of the first semester. So with our hybrid learning in the first semester, we did accomplish what we needed to do. We were able to get kids in the building, but we learned a couple things. We learned that them only seeing a particular teacher 1 time a week just wasn't enough. We learned that we didn't maximize enough of our class periods to make it worth the while for some students to come back. We did have some students say that the study hall or a different class was just too long and too much computer time, so I'm not going to come back on those days. So that's where we led to some of our changes that we have. So we've extended the school day back to what it traditionally is, 7:55 to about 2:30. Every class, every day. So now it's a normal school day, just like your schedule looks in Skyward. And we have an extended lunch period. So on a typical day, you only have lunch for about 22 minutes based on the current calendar we have, but we extend to 45 minutes just because that's the time the students can kind of relax a little bit, pull the mask down when they're eating and they're spaced, of course, and we thought that was going to be critical for this time. Let's take a look at the daily schedule for the kids. Now, in your Skyward, it will have things like 4A, 6C, 5B. Follow along to the 8 periods you were using in first semester. So in first semester, you had it broken up into 8 periods, 1 through 8. So those same periods, how we're going to fit in here. So if you have 4th hour lunch now, you have it 10:25 to 11:10, and you'll go on to what was your next class. The easiest suggestion for students is if you just take your Skyward schedule. Your Skyward schedule has 8 items listed in it from top to bottom, and line those up on this chart, and that's how you get your daily schedule. We'll also be sending out more as we get close to that between our teachers and the kids to make sure everything lined up. But basically, every class period is now 45 minutes, 5-minute passing period, so it kind of cleans up the schedule a little bit for kids. And we also have 0 hour coming back on during this time. So students will attend this schedule every other day. So one day I'm in the building, I have all my classes. The next day I'm remote, I have all my classes going on throughout the semester like that. This will allow the students to now see their teachers between 2 and 3 times every single week. And that was far greater than the once a week that we were hitting with our first semester model. So that's the drastic change, but that's really what we did all of this for, just to get the kids more time in the building and more time with their teachers to build on those relationships and help with the learning loss that we've obviously endured. Students who are full remote will follow the same schedule. And part of, remember, those remote planning days that we're going to be working on is how do we get better at that synchronous learning? How do we have kids at home and kids in the classroom? I know there's often some complaints from parents and students because that's just not great, and I agree with that. What we're trying to do is just get the best we can at that right now. There's no playbook for how to do that, so we're going to continue to try different things. Here's our third quarter calendar. So if you take a look here, I apologize for the amount of colors, but there's kind of a lot of stuff going on in the third quarter. Starting on January 4th, you have full remote learning through January 13th. So that's where you're on the block schedule. The 14th and 15th, there is no school for students. And then this is remote planning day for teachers. That's when we're going to work on how do we change everything to 45 minutes? How do we maximize learning for kids at home and in the classroom at the same time? How do we make this whole new plan kind of come together better than it was in first quarter? Now, we have this Monday off, the 18th, starting on Tuesday, January 19th, is where we will be kicking this off with the alpha split A through L. So you'll have A through L at this time. And I actually think on the subsequent slide, I made a mistake. I marked this as Monday, January 19th. So I apologize. It's Tuesday, January 19th for the return. I'll make that change on the slide before I send it out. So my last name is Baird, for instance. I would go Tuesday, Thursday. The next week I'm there Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And you can see where I alternate all the way through for the quarter. Okay. So I just alternate the whole time is all I'm doing. So based on last name, I just alternate back and forth the whole time, all the way through the quarter. The red are non-student attendance days, and the yellow is for Teacher Institute Day on Friday, February 12th. And you take a look there. So basically, you just have to understand, make sure you got the right first day, and then you go all the way through the quarter. Just go every other day for student attendance. Building entry will remain the same as we did before. For bus drops, you'll be dropped near the fine arts entrance, and we'll take your slips there. If the student does not have the slip, they'll be asked to go to the front entrances as they were during this time. That worked great. If students are running low on slips, we have additional passes available in the main office, and we can get those to you. If you just stop in the main office, we'll give you a whole stack for anything you need. Students are encouraged to be driven or to transport themselves if possible, just for the spacing required still on the buses. Lunch, changes in lunch now for the second semester hybrid. Students will eat lunch during a regularly scheduled lunch period in Skyward. So right now, the whole building kind of pauses from 10:35 to 11 and we eat lunch. We're switching that on the return. We're going to get students back on a regular schedule. So they'll eat lunch wherever it says in Skyward that they eat lunch. They'll go down to the cafeteria or an alternate location at that time. That's just be to maximize distancing. We have spaces in the gym. We have other study hall areas to have that work out, but some of the lunches aren't big enough that we'll have a problem with that. So students should head down to the cafeteria on their first day, and we will let them know if they need to go to an alternate location. Lunch periods are extended to 45 minutes from the traditional 22. Again, as I said, that's just to make sure that the kids have a little bit more of that kind of rest and relaxation time. As the weather gets nicer, so as we approach towards March and April in this model, one of the things we're going to look at is letting students go outside during that time too. Right now it's a little bit chilly, obviously, but as soon as we can, we'll open that up as an option. I thank you for your time. I know this one is a little bit short and sweet, but some highlights I want to just hit back on for everybody. The school day will lengthen from 7:55 to 2:30. You'll have 8 classes every day, remote or hybrid. The groups are going to alternate. So we begin on Tuesday, January 19th. Again, it says Monday, January 19th in there. I apologize. I'll fix that before I send it out. But Tuesday, January 19th, we will begin that. And you just go every other day based on last name. All 8 periods every day for 45 minutes. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to email me, mbaird@rbchs.com, or give me a call at the building. We're going to be working on this a lot in that first 2 weeks, but we are very excited. We think it's going to be great for kids and a great opening for our building. If you have any questions, please let me know. Have a wonderful holiday.